Hello students, I welcome you all to this session on EMFT or electromagnetics. I am Vishali Kikan and today in this session we are going to talk about the application of Gauss's law. I hope you all have seen the previous video where I discussed what is Gauss's law and I have already found out the electric field with the application of the Gauss's law with some symmetrical cases. Here also we are extending our discussion and we will be finding out the electric field for the point charge, for infinite line charge, for hollow and solid cylinder, hollow and solid sphere, and for infinite sheet of charge. So we are finding out all of these things with the help of Gauss's law. We have already found out these electric field in the previous videos with the help of detailed derivation. Now we will be using Gauss's law. With the application of Gauss's law, we will be finding out the electric field. Okay, so first of all we will be discussing what is the point form of Gauss's law. What is point form of Gauss's law? The point form of Gauss's law can be represented in the terms of divergence of D, which is equal to rho V, and how it came out we will be seeing. So what is the Gauss's law? According to the Gauss's law, the closed surface integration of D over the surface ds, so d dot ds closed surface integration is equal to the charge enclosed. So I can also represent this formula in the terms of electric field intensity. Here the closed surface integration of E dot ds is equal to Q enclosed upon epsilon naught. So now here what is this Q enclosed? If I have line charge, if I have surface charge, if I have volume charge, according to them I will be having different charge enclosed. So if I have the charge enclosed when I have line charge, I can represent it as the integration of line charge density over the given length. If I have the surface charge, I have integration of the surface charge density over the given surface. So here I have the surface integration. Now if I have the volume charge, I will be having the integration of volume charge density over the given volume. So this is the volume integration. Now which of these I will be using to find out this Q enclosed in the terms of Gaussian surface? I already told you the Gaussian surface is a closed surface. Okay, so whenever I have closed line, so this is my closed line, it is making a surface. If I have a closed surface, it will be making the volume. So I will be using this equation to find out the Q enclosed. So I will be replacing Q enclosed with this equation. So here I have integration over volume rho V. It is equated to the surface integration of D dot ds. Here I have volume integration, here I have surface integration. Both cannot be equated, so I have to convert this surface integration into volume integration. So I know the divergence theorem. I hope you all have seen the previous video where I have discussed about the divergence theorem. So the closed surface integration of D dot ds will be equated to the volume integration of del dot D dV. Okay, so here I have taken the divergence of D and this surface integration has converted into volume integration. So this is how I can convert the surface integration into volume integration with the help of divergence theorem. So here you can see I have integration over volume and del dot D dV. Here I have integration over volume rho V dV. I can equate both of them. I can say del dot D is equal to rho V. You can observe that all of the other things, here I have integration and here dV. So I can say that del dot D is equal to rho V. In the terms of electric field intensity, I can say del dot E is equal to rho V upon epsilon naught. Now coming to the calculations. So how I can find out electric field intensity? So here I have taken my point charge and now I have to find out electric field intensity with the help of Gauss's law. So first of all I have to make the Gauss's surface. So the closed surface I have made here, it will be a spherical surface. I have to choose a symmetrical surface such that at all the points the electrical field will be making the same angle with the surface vector, or it will be making some symmetricity problems. Okay, so I will be telling you how. So first of all here I have taken the solid surface. So the solid surface is having the electric field like this. These are the electric field line from this charge Q. If I make the surface vector, You can see at all of the points E and DS are making same angle. So the angle is 0. I can represent E dot ds as EDS at all of the points. So now if I have to take overall surface, I can say I can take the full surface of this sphere. The full surface of the sphere is 4 pi r square. So this is E dot ds integration over the full surface. Now I will be equating it to the charge enclosed. Charge enclosed is Q here. Only one charge is there, which is Q upon epsilon naught. Now rearranging it, E will be equal to Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square. So this is the electric field due to the point charge. I hope you remember this. So this is the electric field that I have found out with the help of Gauss's law. Okay, so I can easily find out the electric field with the help of Gauss's law. Now coming to the infinite line charge. We used the electric field derivations over there. So now coming to the infinite charge, line charge. This is my line charge. Okay. Now here I have taken a cylindrical Gaussian surface. Whenever I have line distribution, I will always take a cylindrical Gaussian surface. I have taken the height to be h. Okay, so now here if I see the electric field are going in this direction. Okay, at this point the surface vector is on the upside. Here the surface vector in the downside. This is the electric field. So at this point, at this surface, what is the electric field and the surface vector angle? So it is 90 degrees. So E dot ds will be 0. So I will not consider the upward and the downward surface because these are not contributing to the flux. Okay, so the flux is given by only this round surface. So E into the surface area of this round surface. The radius is r, height is h. Okay, so I know the surface area of the cylinder is given by 2 pi RH. So E into 2 pi RH will be equal to the charge enclosed. So I have infinite line charge. The line charge on the infinite line charge is having the charge Q on the infinite line. Okay, now I have taken only this H height to be my Gaussian surface. I have to take the charge which is enclosed. I have to take only this charge which is enclosed here. Okay, so if I take that lambda is my line charge density. So if I multiply this lambda with h, I will be getting the charge in this enclosed surface. So I will be equating it to the lambda into h upon epsilon naught. So h and h will get cancelled out. E will be equal to lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught r. I hope you understood how I found out the electric field due to the infinite line charge. Coming to the hollow or solid cylinder. First I will be talking about the hollow cylinder. In the hollow cylinder I will be having the charges on the surface only. So at the surface, this is my actual cylinder that I have to take. This is the cylinder that I am taking. Okay, so this is the inside cylinder. This is the Gaussian surface that I have made inside, and this is the Gaussian surface that I have made outside. Okay, so I have two Gaussian surfaces. If I have to find out the electric field at this point inside the sphere, I will be using the inside Gaussian surface. So okay, I will be taking the first case. Here I am talking about hollow cylinder and I am taking the inside point. Okay, so when I am taking the hollow cylinder, so at the inside I will be just talking about the electric field. So electric field is multiplied with the surface of the inside Gaussian sphere. So I already know that upward and downward surface will not be contributing. So here E into 2 pi, the inside radius is r dash and the height is h, is equal to the charge enclosed. All of the charge has come to the boundary of the hollow cylinder. So whenever the charge is not present inside, I will be taking Q enclosed to be 0, which means E is equal to simply 0. So in the first case, I have found out the E is equal to 0. Now coming to the outside point. So here I have taken my point and I have made this surface. The Gaussian surface is outside the given surface. So now I will be multiplying. I already know that the upward portion and the downward portion will not be contributing. I just know the overall surface. This surface I need to know. Okay, so E into 2 pi. What is the radius of this big sphere? It is r. Height is I have taken to be h. It will be equal to q enclosed upon epsilon naught. If I have to represent the q enclosed, all of the charge is present on the surface of this inside sphere. Okay, so height I have taken to be Gaussian surface to be h. The inside charge will be equal to sigma. The charge density multiplied with the surface area of the actual sphere which is inside this height h. So the surface area is given by 2 pi. What is the radius? Radius is r, height is h upon epsilon naught. So now I can cancel out a lot of things. This 2 pi h, 2 pi h get cancelled out. I have found out E to be equal to sigma r upon epsilon naught r. This is my electric field and this is the second case. I am taking the hollow cylinder and I am taking the outside case. Okay, now again I am taking the outside case, but I am taking the solid cylinder. I am taking the outside case. In the outside case, this parameter will remain same. So E into 2 pi RH will remain as it is. So here I have taken the Q enclosed. So Q enclosed, if I have the solid cylinder, in the solid cylinder I will be using the volume charge density rho V. It is multiplied with the enclosed volume. So the enclosed volume inside this big circle. So if inside this big cylinder I have this actual cylinder will be contributing to the volume. So it will be equal to pi r square h upon epsilon naught. This is the radius of the circle of the cylinder. So now pi r square h upon epsilon. So this is the radius r of the cylinder. So now I have taken this to be the volume of the cylinder. So now here pi and pi will get cancelled out, h and h will get cancelled out, and I will get the E. So this is my electric field intensity. So this is my given radius. So it is inversely proportional to the point. So capital R represents the point. So if I move away from the point, electric field will decrease. Okay, so here also it is inversely proportional to R. So now coming to the fourth case, I am taking the solid cylinder and I am taking the inside case. So now when I am taking the inside case, so I have to take this surface of this sphere. So it will be equal to 2 pi r dash h. Now here also I have take the Q enclosed. The Q enclosed will be equal to the charge enclosed inside this small sphere. So it will be equal to pi r dash square into h upon epsilon naught. So here r dash and this r will be getting cancelled out, h and h will be getting cancelled out, pi and pi will be getting cancelled out. So E will be equal to E is equal to rho V r dash upon 2 epsilon naught. So now I hope you understood how I have found out the charge in the case of hollow cylinder. So in the hollow cylinder the charge was not there inside, it was 0. In the case of outside case of hollow cylinder, I have taken the surface of the actual cylinder that I had and I have found out the surface charge distribution, and this on the with the help of surface charge density, I have multiplied the surface area and I have found out the charge enclosed. Now if I have the electric field which I have to find out at the outside point of a solid cylinder, so at the outside point I have taken the charge which I will be finding out with the help of volume charge density, and I have taken this actual cylinder, and with the help of actual cylinder of the given height h, I will be finding out the volume of the actual cylinder for the height h, and I will be multiplying it with the volume charge density. I will be finding out the charge enclosed. I will be equating it to the E dot ds. Now in the inside I will be knowing what is the volume of the inside sphere. This inside sphere I will be knowing the volume with the help of r dash is the radius and height is h dash. So volume will be pi r dash square into h, and it is multiplied with the volume charge density, and this is how I can find out the charge enclosed. Now coming to the sphere, again I will be having the 4 cases. So first case is hollow sphere and inside case. Okay, so hollow sphere, I hope you all have seen it. So if I have the hollow sphere, the charge will be coming on the surface of the outside sphere. Inside this, the charge enclosed will be 0. So I can directly say that E dot ds will be equal to the charge enclosed. The charge enclosed will be 0. So E is equal to 0. Now coming to the second case, I have taken some outside point of the hollow sphere. So at the outside point I have taken the radius to be capital R. So E into E into 4 pi r square is equal to Q enclosed upon epsilon naught. I have taken the Gaussian surface to be the outside sphere. So outside sphere has the radius r, so it will be having the surface area 4 pi capital R square. The charge enclosed I have to find out. So I know all of the charge is on the surface of the actual sphere. So it will be given as sigma into 4 pi small r square upon epsilon naught is equal to E into 4 pi capital R square. Now I will be cancelling out 4 pi and 4 pi, and I will be getting E. E is equal to sigma small r square upon epsilon naught capital R square. Now coming to the third case, now I am considering the solid sphere and I am taking the outside case. Okay, so when I am taking the outside case, so here again I will be having the same parameter over here, E into 4 pi r square. So now I will be equating it to the Q enclosed upon epsilon naught. Now I have to find out the charge enclosed. So if I have the solid sphere, the charge is distributed over the volume of the solid sphere. Okay, so now I have to find out Q enclosed. Here I will be using the volume charge density. So I am multiplying the volume charge density with the volume of this inside actual sphere. So actual sphere has the radius r, so the volume will be rho v into 4 by 3 pi r cube. So this is my Q enclosed. I will be putting the Q enclosed here and I will be finding out E. So 4 pi and 4 pi will get cancelled out and I will be getting E as rho v into r cube. So here I have only rho v r cube left. So in the denominator I have 3 epsilon naught into r square. So this is how I can find out the electric field. Now coming to the last case, which is solid sphere inside case. Okay, so now I have taken a Gaussian sphere inside this solid sphere. So okay, I have to find out the charge enclosed inside this small sphere. I know the total charge is Q. So Q is given as with the help of the volume charge density. So Q upon 4 by 3 pi r cube is my rho v, that I know. So when I multiply rho v with the volume of this small sphere, so rho v when multiplied with the volume of the small sphere, which is 4 by 3 pi r dash cube, it will be giving me the charge of the small sphere q dash. So this is how I will be finding out the charge of the small sphere, and I will be using it to find out the electric field over the small volume of this surface. So now here, if I will be using this equation, so again I will be having E dot ds, the surface area of this small sphere I have to take. Surface area will be E into 4 pi r dash square. It will be equated to the charge enclosed. Now I know charge enclosed is rho v into 4 by 3 pi r dash cube upon epsilon naught. So here r dash square will get cancelled out, 4 pi will get cancelled out. So I have got rho v r dash upon 3 epsilon naught. I know rho v is given as charge upon volume. What is rho v? Rho v is charge upon 4 by 3 pi r cube. So this 3 and this 3 multiplied over here will get cancelled out, and I will be getting q r dash upon 4 pi epsilon naught r cube. So this is how I can simplify, and I can find out the electric field in the terms of rho v, or I can find out the electric field in the terms of q. So I have again here 4 cases. In the first case, I know at the inside of the hollow sphere I will not be having any charge, so at the inside I will be taking the charge enclosed to be 0, so electric field is directly equal to 0. At the outside I will be taking the charge enclosed to be equal to sigma into ds. So sigma into ds, the ds will be the surface area of this sphere. Surface area of this sphere is 4 pi r square. Sigma into 4 pi r square. This is I am equating to the E dot ds. So ds in this case is the outside sphere surface area, which is 4 pi capital R square. In the third case, I am taking the solid sphere in the outside case. So external area will be 4 pi r square, and here I am taking the charge enclosed in the terms of volume charge density. So volume charge density when multiplied with the volume of this actual sphere, because this actual sphere will be containing the overall charge, so volume charge density multiplied with 4 by 3 pi r cube will be giving me the charge enclosed. So I can replace it and I can calculate what is my electric field. Now in the last case, I know this is my small sphere, it will be containing some charge, so the charge will be found out in the terms of rho v. Rho v when multiplied with the small volume, so the small volume is 4 by 3 pi capital R dash cube. When it is multiplied with rho v, I will be getting the charge enclosed this small volume. That is I require, so I will be putting the value of rho v as well. So when the value of rho v is put, so rho v is q upon 4 pi small r cube. So here I can simplify and I can find out the electric field intensity. Now coming to the last case, this is the infinite sheet of charge, and here this is the infinite sheet of charge, and here I have taken the Gaussian surface. The Gaussian surface I have taken to be the cylindrical surface, and here I have this surface and this surface. So if I see this surface, electric field will be in this direction, or electric field will be in this direction. So if I see the surface vector is perpendicular to the electric field over this surface or this surface. But if I see this surface, electric field is in the direction of the surface vector. So here whenever it is perpendicular, E dot ds will be 0. So here I have E dot delta s. Okay, here also I have E dot delta s. So E dot delta s and E dot delta s, I have 2 E dot delta s. Okay, so I have cos of 0. So cos of 0 is 1. So E dot delta s will be equal to E into delta s. It will be equal to charge enclosed So here I have taken the charge enclosed to be in the terms of sigma, because there will be some area over which the charge is distributed. I have to find out this enclosed charge, so it will be sigma into the surface area. I have taken the surface area to be delta S upon epsilon naught. So this delta S and this delta S will get cancelled out, and I will be getting E to be equal to sigma upon 2 epsilon naught. So this is how I can find out the electric field in the case of infinite sheet of charge as well. So I have covered a lot of topics. If you want to see, you can again watch this video, and you can take your copy and pen and you can practice all of these cases. Okay, so now it's dependent upon your practice that how you will be finding out each one of these cases. Okay, if you practice once or twice, you will be getting pro in all of these cases, and you will never forget it. So I hope you like this video. If you like it, you can share it with your friends, you can subscribe to the channel, and you can push the like button. And if you have any query, you can go to the comment section or you can reach out to me. Thank you so much.